right, boys and girls, here we are. It's our second day of math mini lesson at home. Today we're going to take what we did yesterday with measuring to the nearest half inch, and we're going to take it a little bit more detailed and measure to the nearest 1/4 of an inch on a ruler. We say 1/4 inch when we are talking about fourths. That's typically what people say. So here you can see the work we did yesterday. I changed our I can statement to say I can measure to the nearest 1/4 inch on a ruler. And we know that 1/4 or 1/4 means that there are 4 equal sections within the inch mark. So I'm going to take what we did yesterday and divide my number line. So I have from 0 to 1, I have my halves marked. From 1 to 2, I have 1 1/2 marked. And now I'm going to take my pen and I'm going to mark in the middle of each half. And so we know from our work with fractions on a number line that that is going to make 1/4 of an inch. Let me switch colors here, guys, because that one seems dead or dying. So here we have our 1/4 inch marks, and I'm going to go ahead and mark up my whole number line. Hold on, that one's a little hard to reach this way. There we go. So now I have those marked and partitioned my number line into fourths in between each whole number. So let's think, what would this be labeled? From 0 to the very first fourth would be 1/4. And we know that 1/2 is the same as 2/4, but I'm not going to label it 2/4 because when we measure, we say it's 4 1/2 inches. I've never heard someone say, oh, it's 4 2/4 inches long. It's just a little bit cumbersome on your mouth, and it's more simple to say 1/2. So we've got 1/4, 1/2, which is the same as 2/4. Then we've got 3/4. Then we have 1 whole inch, and I think I'm actually going to take my blue and I'm going to circle my hole just so that I remember that's kind of my benchmark. And let me go ahead and circle my 2 inches as well so I can remember those are my benchmarks. That's where my whole number of inches changes. Now, after 1 inch would be 1 1/4. You got it. We already know this is 1 1/2, which is the same as 1 2/4. And then the next one would be 1 3/4 or 3/4. You can really say it either way. So, of course, we, like yesterday, since this is the same one from yesterday, we know that this is a little bit bigger than an actual ruler, or bigger than the inches on a regular ruler. But here is my sample ruler that I was using to measure with yesterday. And you can see that to help us, this ruler already has the fractional parts of the inch marked from 0 to 1. So we can follow this line, and just like a number line, we could say 0 inches, 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch, 1 inch, 1 1/4, 1 1/2, 1 3/4, 2 inches, 2 1/4, 2 1/2, 2 3/4, and so on. I am not going to make you listen to me count all that. But when we're measuring, we're going to want to look at where the item is, which line the item is closest to. So on a ruler, on this paper one that was made for teaching with, as well as on a real ruler, you're going to have that 1/2 inch line. Remember, it's the longest one in between the whole inches. And then your 1/4 inch lines are going to be the next longest. There are usually more marks that divide this into eighths, and some rulers even go up to 16ths. But for us, for 3rd grade, we really just need to be able to measure to the nearest 1/4 inch. So looking at this is super helpful because it's only partitioned out into the parts that we're measuring by. The ruler in your assignment in Google Classroom yesterday was also partitioned this way and will be again today. So that'll be helpful for you because they'll be the same. So I'm just going to grab a couple items off my desk here at home to measure with, or to measure to the nearest 1/4 inch. And I've tried to pick things I thought you guys would find fun and silly and interesting. And my husband laughed at me last night when I was picking these, but I hope you enjoy them. So here is my tape dispenser. It's a little weenie dog, and it has mustard on the tape. I love weenie dogs, so this is a good little Christmas gift that Mr. Medlin bought me. So I'm going to measure how long my tape dispenser is, and it is pretty long. Let me see here. I'm going to line up his little feet with the 0, and I'm going to look at where his nose falls, and it looks to me like it's falling right just a teeny bit past 5 1/4 inches. And oh, from your perspective, it looks like I'm not lined up correctly, but let's lay him down. And you can see it's just the angle on the camera. If I lay him down on the ruler and line up the tail with the 0, then I can see that that little weenie dog is exactly 5 1/4, 5 1/2, 5 3/4 inches long. So when I write that in my notebook, we write it, it's called a mixed number, and so I'm going to write dog tape, and it was 5, and the whole number, the big number on the ruler is going to be biggest when you write it, and then I'm going to write my fraction 5 3/4 inches. So when you are doing these in Google Classroom, and you probably figured that out yesterday, you can't make a fraction look quite like that in Google Classroom. It might change it for you, but you're going to type 5, you're going to put a space, and then you're going to type 3/4, 5 3/4, and don't forget to put your unit when you're working in Google Classroom. So it might, sometimes when you type a fraction like this on the computer, it will flip it around and make it look a little more fraction-y, but if it looks just like this when I'm looking at your work or Miss Fondren's looking at your work, guys, that's perfectly fine. Just make sure you put that space in between the whole number and the fraction part of your mixed number. That way we know for sure that you're not telling us it's 53/4 if you have it all squished together. We just want to make sure we understand what you're telling us so that we know you understand about mixed numbers and measuring to the nearest 1/4 inch. So let me grab just one more little item. What do I have laying around? Oh, I have Lego Wonder Woman. This is my home classroom is set up in Catherine's Lego room, so I have lots of Legos laying around. You'll see me do lots of things with Legos, I'm sure. So let's see. Oops, sorry, I pulled off her hair, Wonder Woman. Okay, so let's see how long or how tall, if she was standing up, how long Lego Wonder Woman is. So I'm gonna line up the top of her head with the 0, and it looks like her feet don't quite make it. Let me see if I can zoom in without ruining our video. Yeah, there we go. Looks like her feet don't quite go all the way to that mark, but that's okay because they're really, really close. And sometimes in measuring, we have to go to what's nearest or closest. So we're talking about almost precise measurements. So she's almost right here. So that's 1 1/4, 1/2, or 2/4. And that's 3/4. So she is 1 3/4 inches tall, or 1 3/4. So let me add her. Lego Wonder Woman. Catherine is going to have lots of Legos to put away when I'm done. Lego Wonder Woman is 1 3/4 inches tall. So it's really about looking at where the item falls on the ruler in between those whole number lines. We're going to talk about where or which line something is closest to, boys and girls. So today in your independent work, you're going to go into your Google Classroom just like yesterday. There's a slideshow of questions that you're going to work on. It's called Measuring Part 2 or something like that, but it'll make a copy in your drive just like it did yesterday. Message us, or you can face chat through Google Hangouts during school times if you have any questions. See you tomorrow.